As I was going through this video and watching, I haven't really heard anybody talk about these, and again, we missed this. There are other perks that are here now that were not on any of those lists of new perks, and also a lot of the perks have been adjusted. Okay, so Focus for this perk package is a base perk, where Focus before was a bonus perk, and it was totally unused, right?
Yeah.
Because it was in the category with fast hands. So now Focus has been moved to base perk. So this is kind of just immediately showing you they did a total perk rebalance. So that's an MW2 perk, but it's now in a different category inside of Warzone.
Correct.
So we're probably going to see a lot of changes like that. Secondly, the bonus perk here is called Primed.
Activision devs do not play their own game.
3,000 devs can't figure out how to add a reconnect feature to a AAA title, I guess. I don't know.
Because Infinity Ward doesn't tell their consumers anything.
Maybe that'll take some of the sweats away from Shoot House.
You can cope about that for sure.
Thanks for tweeting, at least. Thanks for doing more than Infinity Ward has done. They just keep tweeting about the soccer bundles in the store.
Things that are bad. We've got a couple words. Why don't you kick it off, Tanner?
This is going to be a longer section than the first part you guys heard.
Change it, obviously, of course. Okay, that's the correct one.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, but
computers.
It's like the same file name. I'm so confused. Anyway, whatever. I'm gonna write this down in our board meeting shit real quick. We are live though, boys and girls. Welcome to the Dropshot Call of Duty podcast, episode number 368. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. Today, I am joined by young Tanner. And today, we are doing an episode on Call of Duty. Luckily, there are a couple of things to talk about. Some quite exciting things, I would say. Particularly one... Well, there's actually quite a bit for MW3 to talk about today. We also have the Haunting event, which has gone live in some capacity. So we're finally getting the Halloween-themed little items in-game. And we're going to get more on Friday with the actual Zombies event, which is what I've been looking most forward to. So there's a good little amount to talk about today. First, though, we have some absolute announcements. Welcome to our new patrons. And we got quite a few of you because a lot of you are smart. So welcome to our new gold patrons. Curls, Jake J, Jean S, Christian A, change how it's spelled, Alex, and Zachary C. Let's go, boys. Thank you very much appreciate that. Our new gold patrons. We also got some platinum patrons. Kevin W, Elsinore 2010 change it, and Kenny and Tabby V. Wow.
Let's go.
The old combo MySpace profile. Yeah. That's very
Facebook. Nice.
Very interesting that you're doing that on Patreon. But hey, welcome aboard.
That's a first.
That is a first. Yeah,
first for us.
I'm shocked to see it, but
Who do you think
take it.
likes us better, Kenny or Tabby?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kenny.
You think Kenny?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kenny.
Appear to be a good-looking couple from this 10-pixel image we have.
They look happy for sure.
Handsome couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
cool.
Welcome, pair. And welcome, more importantly than all of you, our new Damascus patron, Putty. From a hater to a Damascus patron, the classic Dropshot pipeline, Putty. I'm glad you've seen the light.
Yeah.
Big dog, and welcome aboard. Very kind of you, sir. Also, a new annual gold patron, Polish Sausage. Change it and thank you. A new annual platinum patron, upgrading, Bruni Lover in Leet Speak. You're 12, and you stole your parents' credit card to do that, and we appreciate it. Bruni Lover, whatever. And then last, but certainly not least, we have a new Obsidian patron filling all 10 slots. Based Bubba Bates. Going Obsidian, baby. Let's absolutely go. Triple B. Platinum to Obsidian, it's a jump I've never seen before. Unprecedented.
It is, yeah.
He said, fuck the Damascus Lounge, I'm getting on the yacht.
Yeah, well, we were bullying him into becoming Damascus. Everyone in the Discord was, because he posts way too much. We said, no, you need to be in Damascus chat. We need you in here.
Yeah.
He said, all right, maybe when I get paid next. He didn't. Weeks went by. All of a sudden, one day, he's just Obsidian instead. So
yeah.
Shout out to Bates, B3.
Shout out to B3, an absolute god and king, glazer by profession, and we appreciate that very much. Based Bubba Bates, welcome aboard, Chief. And I see you've been enjoying the yacht, so keep it up, man. We're happy to have you. And
that yacht's cozy, yeah.
Another yacht enjoyer renewing their annual yacht club membership. Zanoli Cannoli Guacamole, dude, is back, locking it in. Annual Obsidian. Wow. An absolute savage and mad lad. And we thank you and appreciate you.
In the last 7 days. Him and Edgy.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
More unprecedented, huh?
Very unprecedented indeed, yeah. And we thanked Edgy, right? We let him know that was a good idea. Yeah, thanks again,
great
Edgy.
Idea. Yeah.
And Zanoli Cannoli Guacamole, Mastacholi, thank you as well for re-upping. We appreciate that. Patreon.com/the Dropshot. Speaking of the Patreon, by the way, we have new trials available through the end of October. So if you wanted to listen to our bonus episodes, all of the ones we've ever done in the past and this month, obviously, you could join for free. You get 7 days, access to the whole ass Patreon, and all of the benefits, ad-free, early access, the bonus episodes, of course. And we had a couple people take us up on the free trials since we opened them up. Now, I'm not thanking anyone here. Let me be clear. I'm going to acknowledge that these people became free trial patrons, but we're not grateful and you don't deserve our thanks because you haven't given a shit. You're taking from us, right? So Kix Cobra, Mitch P, Chris S, Sean R, Alan D, John, Rue Dead Yet? Are you dead yet? Change it. Salvador, Unbreakable Shaft, change it. Raptor 99, Brad, Dustin C, Isaac, Ryan M, W Free, I like that name, and Tristan E.
W Free, yeah. Do you think Dustin's last name is real?
Yeah, it's unfortunate and real.
Is that?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
It's too weird to make up.
Yeah, it is.
Too weird to make that up.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
So, I don't thank you. I'm not grateful, but I've acknowledged that you become a free trial patron and you exist. If you want to fuck around and stick around since you see the immense value in our Patreon, I mean, only $5 a month, 3 bonus episodes, early access, and ad-free, then I'll thank you. But until that point, you've been acknowledged. So
yeah, and a lot of people have taken us up on that. We're at our highest number ever on Patreon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Higher than Lockdown 2021 Verdansk, yeah.
Yeah, the bounce is finally happening. The bounce back. Yeah. Which makes sense because this game appears to be fun, MW3, and a lot of people are getting back on the COD train, as it were. And the bonus episodes have been fire, by the way. And speaking of, we've done a multiplayer deep dive, and our latest bonus episode on the Patreon that anyone could listen to for free, by the way, since we have free trials, was on zombies. We got a fuck ton more zombies info for MW3, and Tanner and I kind of went over all of that information and gave our thoughts on it. And it was a very productive episode, I would say, and it tied into a bonus episode we did last month on zombies, which again, anyone can listen to for free because you get access to all the bonus episodes. Become a free trial patron, you can listen to this one and that one we did as well. But there was a lot of info in there that we went over, and some speculation still. Like, there's one thing that's coming, like schematics and acquisitions, which we kind of tried to figure out exactly how that was going to work, but there were some things that we've learned about zombies next year that were expected, and then a lot of things that we kind of didn't expect, which was interesting to go over on that bonus episode we did. But that's now live for all of our patrons. Yeah,
that was a banger episode. A lot of interesting stuff in there, everything from camo challenges we talked about, leaked lines and that in the files, camo challenges. What was the other leak? Oh, just like general game challenges and whatnot, which kind of shows you some things about campaign, zombies, like things maybe we otherwise didn't know. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. I like that episode a lot. We got some good feedback on that one again. So 2 gold eps out before any platinum or Damascus. That may be the first time we've done that in months, a year, ever, maybe.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. And as we've said, you know, the reason we typically do Patreon episodes at the end of the month is because that's typically when content gets released by the devs. But in this case, we had a lot of content. Yeah, correct. We had a lot of content to actually go over. And that trend's going to continue on the Patreon, by the way. Next month, we're going to have a ton of we're going to have too many ideas, and we're going to have to pick and choose what to do. Because it's going to be, the game will have launched by the time we're recording bonus episodes for next month. So we'll probably do like a multiplayer brainstorm, maybe a Warzone brainstorm, you know, or just like going over, we might like fuck around, do another nuke tips episode too. Those have been fun. I don't know if we did one last year because there was no reward for getting a nuke, but we did one for Cold War that was really well received. And we also did one for MW19. And those are fun to do because you go over like what's the best perk setup, the best gun, the best attachments. I really like doing those.
Best
I like
mode, the best map.
The best mode, the best map. Exactly. Yeah. I really like doing those because it's a lot of like theory crafting, but also we usually record them after we've both gotten a nuke. So, it's also like we put it into practice and stuff, and those are really fun to do. But anyways, yeah, we have a ton of good shit coming up on the Patreon. So again, free trials month of October, patreon.com/the Dropshot, and that zombies episode is the latest one, which is now live. Other than that, do we have any other announcements?
No.
You're listening for the jingle, here it is.
Fuck, I love stretching.
That sounds normal to you, right?
Yeah. Sounds like the jingle.
All right.
The jingle we know and love.
Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so let's get into this shit. First, we have some patch notes, supposedly. This is from Infinity Ward, so take that with the Himalayas and all the salt there on the Haunting event. So, oh, you know what? Let me make sure I save the fucking profile. Yeah, computers are actually the worst. They're the worst invention ever. Anyways.
Not very good.
Here we go. Okay, so October 17th. The Haunting, they put a lot of work into this, you can tell, actually.
They spent more time on this than anything this year by far.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they sure did.
Actually, this is why they've done nothing to the game. They've been working on this shit for a year now, yeah.
Yeah, so we got the Haunting. A lot of this, you know, we've gone over since the roadmap and stuff. We'll talk a little more about certain things as we come to them, but the Haunting returns. They write a lot of words. So here's like the event. You collect souls by playing the game, multiplayer, Warzone, whatever. Apparently it's pretty easy to collect the soul cap per match. I have not played it all yet because I'm waiting for the zombies mode to come to the game. So once that happens, then we will play. I'm going to play tomorrow. But I've seen a lot about it and heard a lot of good things, but we'll get to this. So anyway, yeah, there's that soul capture event, blah, blah, blah. You spend those souls out of game to get rewards. Many of you who've already been playing are already familiar with that. Some skins and shit that doesn't really matter. And there's probably
a really
something
cool camo that's coming. There's a dope animated colorful camo that will release on the 24th. And I think it'll be like 1,000 souls or something.
Yeah, and I think there's also I think there's also a get all the rewards, and there's like a bonus thing too. I'm pretty sure I remember them saying that somewhere.
There's the things on the right that unlock any 15 items.
Yeah, so there's probably like a mastery 4.
Yeah.
That's like get all of them or whatever. But anyway, there you go. Daily login rewards as well, whatever. We got some new operators. Doesn't matter much. Possessed equipment, so we've gone over this already. The Sound Veil Scream field upgrade. It's like a suppression mine, but they've reskinned it. Same with the decoy grenade, basically. A list of bug fixes.
Ooh.
Moving my mouse around, closing my eyes, and I stopped here. So where's my mouse here? Fixed an issue where the equip to favorite loadout button could lose functionality when the same weapon is equipped in both the primary and secondary slots.
Yeah.
Okay.
No fixed on here for insta-dying when you're holding a self-revive pistol, which even happened in front of hundreds of developers at Call of Duty.
Oh,
Next.
Yeah. Yep.
So that still has not been fixed. And
that's cool, fun, and exciting.
The next Warzone iteration in December will launch with that bug still in the game, I promise you.
Yeah, for sure. So, weapons. We got a lot to talk about here. Psych. Expect weapon balancing updates as the season progresses.
Yeah.
So... Yep. You know,
I mean, they do nothing to the core game. They're just adding this event, and it's working out very well for them because they're selling, I mean, a shitload of these bundles for sure. Every person you go and watch is using some of these new bundles, and many of them haven't even been released yet. So yeah, it's working.
Yeah, it's super cool.
They do nothing to the game, but they make it dark and Halloween, and yeah, people love it for sure.
They love it. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, whatever. We'll see what weapon balancing they do, but again, super doesn't matter. I'm going to be playing the campaign in like 2 weeks. That'll tide me over till launch, and then they're going to have to redo all the MW2 weapon balancing anyway once they carry it forward to MW3. Don't forget about that, by the way, guys. All these guns are carrying forward to MW3, so they're going to have to balance weapons relative to like double the number of guns they have now, which is a very tall order. So, you know, any weapon balance that's happening from now until integration, I feel like it barely matters unless you're nerfing something that's super overpowered. That's like the only thing that's like really relevant in my view, because they're gonna have to rebalance MW2 weapons once MW3 comes out. Whether they're too strong or too weak or neither, there's still going to be a ton new weapons that they're going to probably have to balance around. So I just don't really care. So anyway, multiplayer in particular is the next section here. A haunting twist on classic modes. Again, we already covered this in the roadmap they had released earlier, but they reskinned Dom, kill confirmed, zombies infected is in, which is cool. And then same with some maps. El Asilo got a little overhaul, as well as the embassy. And again, we already talked about those things. So Warzone is the next big header. There is a specific Warzone event called The Haunting, Operation Nightmare. And this is where most of the praise is coming toward the event thus far. So this is an LTM. And there's a lot of words here. A lot of words. So Zombie Royale is back is one of the things they say, which is coming tomorrow. And that's what I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
That's the classic mode. This is like the first Halloween event we had gotten ever in Warzone back in the Verdansk days, where, you know, some people would be fucking zombies EMPing cars on a nighttime Verdansk map. It was very cool. And that's what's going to be happening on the 20th of October. Which is what I've been looking forward to. But there's still a lot of other stuff as well, which I think we'll get into here. So first of all, Von Dead, a haunted take on Vondel. So this is like nighttime Vondel. It looks pretty cool. And they're,
This also comes out tomorrow. This is not out yet.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool based on the screenshots, which is what I said. And here are the modes. So we'll get a little more into this. Zombie Royale. The infamous Halloween season mode is back. It's returning favorite features and all new innovations. Players who die respawn as a zombie with a set of impressive abilities. The zombie scourge must pursue and eliminate all life. Players that die as a zombie are fully eliminated from the match, unless they wait for the infestation meter to return all spectators to the match as a zombie. This, I think, is a new mechanic, by the way. I don't recall anything like that in any version of Zombie Royale that's ever been in Warzone.
That brings everyone back? Yeah, I don't remember that exactly either. It's possible it's been in, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, what I remember...
We usually play these LTMs for like 5 hours at the most, so I don't know.
Yeah, from what I remember, it was like, you're an operator. If you die as an operator, you respawn as a zombie. If you die as a zombie, you have to get... Could you even get like bought back by human teammates? I think you could, right? I actually don't remember how that worked.
There was something you could do, yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was something you could do. But anyway, the last person standing wins. This is the really fun mode that I'm going to be playing a lot tomorrow. But yeah, this is not in yet. So this will be also available on Moz and Vondel. That's cool. That's going to be fun.
This will be fun on Vondel, I think, with all the rooftops and stuff, like the super jumps you can do. It'll be really, really fun. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. I think this will play super well on Vondel because of that super jump. And Vondel obviously has a lot of buildings and rooftops and shit. So, and then Lockdown will be on Vondel as well. Or I think it is. Not sure.
I think that's already in right now, maybe.
Yeah. So anyway,
Lockdown's not super popular though.
So some new gameplay features: a haunted box, new field upgrade. It refills armor, ammo, and equipment. So it's like a combined muni and plate box, which is cool, I guess. And then fair warning: players may want to brace for the unexpected when opening it. So jump scares. Jump scares are in the game, and they're scary, I guess. They're jarring, I should say. But anyway. Bloodseeker, new tactical equipment. Throw it near an enemy player, and it will lunge itself towards them, revealing their positions as well as surrounding enemy players within a short distance. So I don't think I've seen this. I don't even know if it's in the game yet, but I suspect it is. But it's for an LTM, so I don't really care. But I remember we were a little confused by this. And then some thermal weapons can be ground loot now in during this LTM on these haunting themed Warzone maps. So there you go. This is a random adjustment that should have been made 2 months ago. Al Mazrah BR, reinforcement flares are now significantly less common. They just snuck that in there. This whole fucking blog post is about the LTM, and then they say this.
Well, now it doesn't even make any sense. Now they've dropped the player counts to 100, so now the game's going to play more slow and boring, right?
Yeah, kind of weird.
This is what they keep doing. They do it all out of order. Yeah, I don't know. I've been seeing a bunch of the COD Next players on Twitter saying recently that they're like, dude, they have to bring back 150 players. And they were talking about how boring playing the new map was at COD Next with 100 players. They're like, they have to stop this shit and just go back to the old school circles with 150.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like we've dropped 50 players, and now, like, we talked about the whole thing, how like, cool, reinforcement flares are not a great game mechanic, but now they're just needed because you've cut the player, but you've eliminated 33% of the player base. And so now they've reduced the amount of reinforcement flares. I don't know. None of it makes sense whatsoever.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I would prefer they just add more players and keep the flares super uncommon.
Yep.
Obviously. That would be the play.
But they have dog shit servers, and they can't make the game work correctly with 150 players, so they just keep pretending they do it for gameplay purposes.
Right. And this also implies, by the way, that we are gonna have 100 players post-integration as well on the new map. It's going to be a smaller map too, so they're going to feel like, oh, it's fine. If people are complaining that there are too few players on Moz with 100, well, the next map is smaller, so 100 should be fine, which would be a incorrect assumption to make. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see how they approach that. But anyway, then a couple bug fixes. Let's see. Yeah, so the big bug where you just get insta-thirsted if you have the field upgrade of a revive pistol, not listed here. But they did fix an issue that could prevent the social tab from opening correctly while in a battle royale pre-match lobby. Got it. Thanks. So anyway, DMZ. Normally, I would never cover this because we're done with DMZ. However, for the LTM specifically, this is evidently so far, outside of Zombie Royale, which hasn't been in the game yet, the big standout for the LTM and the haunting DMZ event is quite well received and supposedly quite fun. You go into Al Mazrah at night, where Operation Nightmare awaits, and they don't really describe it here, but basically, I guess, and again, we haven't played it, you go in and you have to kill some crazy bosses like the Butcher and the Pharaoh and, I don't know, your mom, and it's like difficult and whatever, and a lot of fun is what I've been hearing. And I think you were telling me this, Tanner. Is that
I was hearing,
right?
yeah, I was hearing it was good, but then as the day went on, people started complaining about how there's still PvP. So I guess what people are doing, is as you're like fighting bosses and spending a bunch of time doing all this stuff, and you're about to finish it, you get ran up on by another DMZ squad who just kills you and then finishes it.
And they take the credit, yeah.
So I guess a lot of people are pissed. They're like, for this LTM, just fucking make it PvE. Like, you know.
Yeah.
It's just dumb trying to do these things and like having a cool LTM and then it be ruined by just dying to other players. So I don't know. I don't really have a strong opinion on it. I just know when there are things like that in a mode like DMZ, I feel like they should just make it PvE for a week or something like that, or leave standard DMZ in for the super nerds and then also put this in. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, so like when Fortnite does events where you have to do things like that, they make it so you can't shoot other people anymore. But those are more like timed events, I guess you could say. So I don't know. But I guess people are getting annoyed of that, just constantly dying to players while they're trying to do these challenges and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I've seen as well. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion either. Again, we just want to play MW3, man.
Yeah, I thought the haunting event would come and I'd be super excited to play. And don't get me wrong, like I've watched some clips and it does look exciting, but I don't care to log on to the game to play this event for a week. I don't know.
I didn't realize how late.
Just don't give a shit.
I didn't realize how late it was going to happen. Like how close to MW3.
Yeah, that's
because I'm kind of with you. It's like I'm so excited for MW3 now that I am going to play Zombie Royale tomorrow, and I might play this new DMZ event as well. But I'm not. I wish they had done all of this before the beta. I really wish they would have done that. It would have been so much more hype for me, and probably for a lot of people. But like, it's hard to go play the beta with the long TTK, the crazy fast movement, the novelty, the nostalgic maps, whatever. A lot of people really liked the beta, myself included. It's hard to play that and then go play like DMZ on MW2 again. You know? I don't know. But anyway, that's it for those patch notes. Yeah, not too much else to say there, really. But there you go. We also have a couple of tweets. This is from @COD Updates, the official Call of Duty Updates account, which does not tweet often enough. We've just released an update, this was tweeted on the 17th, that reduces the frequency of repeat jump scares found in loot containers in Warzone. So there are still jump scares in Warzone, it's just evidently they are less common than they used to be, which I guess is fine, but just remove the jump scares, I don't know.
And I heard they were entirely too loud, as they always make them. That's the worst part of it, is how loud it is. It's not even the thing jumping out on your screen, it's how loud it suddenly is. So I don't know if you saw this, but it's funny because there is a setting to remove the jump scares, right? And it's a setting to remove jump scares from the battle pass.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you're opening your next, whenever you get battle pass tokens and you use that, every single time, I guess there's a jump scare. So there's a setting to remove that. Then I also heard that was bugged and not working for everybody.
Oh, that's good.
But there's no just setting to remove it everywhere. I'm not 14. I don't need to have a jump scare to immerse myself. It's just not fun. It's ridiculous. They're probably killing people out there, actually. There are probably some old men getting off their full-time
tactical
job,
grandmas,
almost 60 years old. They're probably actually dying of heart attacks as we speak because they're opening these chests. So I don't know. I hope somebody sues Activision for billions of dollars when their 75-year-old father, who's still working his blue-collar job, just had a heart attack because of your jump scares. So
right.
They deserve it. Stop adding them to the game. Jump scares are cringe. They're childish. They're boring. I don't need it to immerse myself into the Halloween event. The event is cool enough as it is. Stop adding dumb shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing about it, too, is they happen, even after this update, they happen often enough to where it's not like jump scares work because you just don't know they're coming. And it's like, all right, I'm going to prepare for like a 50% chance at a jump scare before I open this box. And then it's like, I'm not scared. I'm just, my hearing is impaired now. That's all that's happened here. Like, it didn't accomplish anything. They need to just remove them or make them like so rare that when it does happen, you're actually surprised. But it's like, if I'm just expecting it at every box opening, it gets old really fast, especially year after year after year.
Yeah.
It's dumb. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, but whatever. Anyway, they also tweeted the playlist update. So yeah, starting tomorrow, the 20th to the 25th, we are going to have ranked trios, obviously, Al-Mazrah Knight, quads and duos, solo map rotations, and then Vondel Knight quads, solo trios rotations for Resurgence, and then Zombie Royale is the most important one. Map rotation trios. These are going to be at night. So that's interesting. That's actually super annoying because, well,
yeah,
I guess it's fine, but
yeah, I didn't remember reading something about that. That's pretty dumb. Yeah.
I'd rather just play Vondel only most of the time, although I'd like to try Moz. But anyway, Massive Resurgence, Al-Mazrah Knight, quads, and then Vondel Lockdown Knight, quads.
Yeah.
By the way,
I think most people will be the opposite. I think most people will want to play Zombie Royale on Al-Mazrah, which makes sense. There's like the train and stuff like that.
Yeah, it could be cool.
It sounds like it makes more sense for Vondel now that we have both maps, but I think more people want Al-Mazrah for that. So yeah, I mean, just make it two separate playlists, right?
Yeah. But either way, whatever. Also, a lot of people, by the way, speaking of Massive Resurgence, have been enjoying that mode a lot. A lot of content creators and just gamers were like, oh, this is a lot of fun, actually. Massive Resurgence. It's just Resurgence on Al-Mazrah with a lot of people. Yeah. And then Infinity Ward tweeted this today, in fact, the 19th. We received feedback that, first of all, they received feedback. You guys have been receiving a lot of feedback this year. But it's interesting because you haven't listened to any of it. But anyways, we received feedback that with all of the haunting activities in the mix, Massive Resurgence felt a bit too chaotic. So they didn't receive this feedback, by the way. They've been receiving a lot of feedback, which they're unwilling to take action on. But this is feedback they have not received, and it's a psyop. Untrue, yeah. And they will take action on it. And they needed a reason to do what they've done. So they fabricated feedback that doesn't exist and pretended they listened to it. Because they don't listen to real feedback, so they make up their own feedback to shoehorn in changes they want to make to increase server stability because their servers are dog shit and they can't develop things. But anyways, let me keep reading. To alleviate the massive resurgence feeling too chaotic, we temporarily reduced the player count from 150 to 100. It's resurgence, by the way. This lower player count retains the welcome excitement of massive resurgence. It doesn't, but provides a bit more breathing room for players to experience all the haunting has to offer. Please note that this adjustment will only remain active through the haunting and will return to the normal player count once the event concludes. So I don't know what that means. Are we going to have massive resurgence after the event's over? Once again, it doesn't matter.
I mean, it's always a playlist that comes and goes, so probably at some point, yeah.
We'll get it one more time before MW 3 releases, and then no one will ever play it again. So, like, cool. You lowered the player count for the majority of the time that anyone's ever going to play Massive Resurgence ever again. By a drastic amount, by the way. And like Tanner has originally said, this is a PSYOP, and they're only doing it because their servers probably can't handle it or something.
Yeah.
But,
so they probably, since they listened to feedback, it was probably like really bad players, really shit players were complaining it was too chaotic. They were probably on Reddit saying how they couldn't get this part of the event done or whatever. They couldn't kill this person because there are too many players. So that's why they reduced it. Because yeah, every streamer, every person I follow was like, no, that's why it was fun, is because it was 150 players and it was so chaotic. So yeah, but they only listen to really dog shit trash players because they're Infinity Ward.
Classic Infinity Ward.
Classic, yeah.
Yeah. So
this is the most they've typed in a tweet about anything related to their video game. I'm not kidding. I think the whole year. This is the longest tweet I've seen them put out.
Yeah. It might be.
Isn't that funny?
That is funny.
Feedback. It's all funny. They're getting torn apart for this. They're getting roasted. They're like, feedback now, huh? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I saw a lot of tweets to that effect as well.
Yeah, it was funny.
And I'm glad people are calling them out for it. Again, it's just like, they're just so disappointing. iDev is just such a disappointing company. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, whatever. Ultimately doesn't matter very much because we're looking forward to MW 3, and luckily now we can finally talk about some MW 3 news. It's probably what you've all been waiting for, I would imagine. So anyway, today's episode is brought to you by us. If you've been thinking of joining the Patreon, I'm here to tell you mid-episode that this might be the best month to do it. Our multiplayer deep dive for MW 3 is now live and available on the Patreon for all patrons. And we will next be doing another zombies episode since we've gotten a ton of new info on MW 3 zombies and what that's going to look like. And we're going to do part 2 of our multiplayer deep dive for MW 3 as well. So we've played the beta since we recorded our last deep dive. And we also didn't get to talk about streaks, field upgrades, equipment, and like miscellaneous kind of multiplayer kind of brainstorming. So that's what we're going to be doing as our last Patreon bonus episode for this month. And from now until October 31st, you can listen to all of those episodes for free. Patreon.com/thedropshot. We have free trials now available for our gold tier. Sign up at any time during those dates and you'll get a 7-day free trial period where you can listen to all those. You'll get access to all of our COD bonus episodes from the past as well, along with early access to the public episodes, all of which are, of course, ad-free. Beyond that, you can stay at the gold tier for just $5 a month for early access, ad-free public episodes, 3 COD-related bonus eps a month, and access to an exclusive patron-only Discord alley. $10 a month, platinum tier gets you everything from the gold tier, plus one Q&A episode where only you guys can ask the questions or hear the answers. The Damascus tier at $20 a month gets all of those things, plus a behind-the-scenes episode, a monthly Damascus-only patron hangout, and access to the very exclusive Discord Damascus Lounge. Did you hate hearing this ad? Sign up for the Patreon. It's that simple. Let's get back to the show. On to the much more interesting topics we have MW 3. So first is JGod tweeted a video from COD Next, and he said This is how the MW3 gear will be integrated into Warzone Urzikstan, since it looks like this clip didn't get seen by a lot of people. That's true. I didn't see it, and I'm surprised not many people did. I guess we were talking when this was happening or something.
This was probably after we stopped, because he was talking to Ted for a while. As they were kind of like spectating and whatnot. So probably at some point, this is when we had stopped, because it was like, 3 hours at least into the broadcast, we were done.
Yeah, that's probably why. So a lot of people had missed this. I'm just going to play this, and you guys can listen, and then we're going to talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, tell me when you're going to play it.
Okay, 3, 2, click.
Modern Warfare 3, multiplayer, it's a new system with vests. Warzone is kind of going what we were used to in the past.
Yes. I think when we, again, with the partnership with Sledgehammer, we wanted to make sure that whilst there is a continuity in terms of movement and combat, etc., when it came to things like perks, we wanted to respect the identities of each mode effectively. So with Warzone, we feel like we've got perks into a really good place. If you get downed, you drop them, or if you get eliminated, you drop them. You can find them in the game world. You can put on the vests that give you the perk, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So it took us a while to kind of refine that and polish it, and we were like, do we really want to throw that away? So instead, what we've done is we've brought across like a number of the perks from Modern Warfare 3 that we felt fit Battle Royale. But at the same time, we had an opportunity to reflect, like, what could we bring to Warzone that's like a new newness when we create perks? Literally part of the design philosophy is that they should be divisive, because otherwise everyone runs the same perks and it's really boring. So you need to tailor them to different player types, player motivations, so that when players go into a match, there's just a real diversity in the engagement.
So, yeah, that was, by the way, I should have said this at the outset, that was Ted Timmins talking to one of the CoD hosts. And Ted Timmins, as some of you may know, Ted Timmins, who has told tall tales on the TL before. But in this case, anyway, he's the Raven lead dev. And Raven is the studio. It's like the biggest supporting studio in the Activision suite. They don't mainline any of the games, but they're the biggest studio that supports games. So they've been in charge of Warzone before. It looks like they're going to have a huge hand in the integration and things like that. And that was him talking about how the MW3 perk system will integrate into Warzone once that integration does in fact happen. So it does look like there was a lot we learned there. So first of all, I want to bring your attention to this at 21 seconds. I'm going to pull up this little image here. So here is a look at the Warzone loadouts once the integration happens. And what are we looking at here, Tanner?
Yeah, so we're seeing some different perks. So basically, as the event was going on, like Charlie Intel had tweeted, there are 3 new Warzone perks and Combat Scouts coming back. Or they had talked about 3 new perks. They talked about one called Resolute. They talked about Combat Scout. And then there were 2 others. I don't remember which one it was at the time. So basically, as I was going through this video and watching, I haven't really heard anybody talk about these. And again, we missed this. There are other perks that are here now that were not on any of those lists of new perks. And also a lot of the perks have been adjusted. So like, as Raz has paused here, you can see there is now... Okay, so Focus for this perk package is a base perk. Where Focus before was a bonus perk, and it was totally unused, right?
Yeah.
Because it was in the category with fast hands. So now Focus has been moved to base perk. So this is kind of just immediately showing you they did a total perk rebalance. So that's an MW2 perk, but it's now in a different category inside of Warzone.
Correct.
So we're probably going to see a lot of changes like that. Secondly, the bonus perk here is called Primed. And I'm guessing Primed must be just renamed Overkill and maybe works a little bit differently as well, because this is the only package with Primed on it that this person scrolls through in the video, and he happens to have an assault rifle and a submachine gun.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming Primed
just
must work a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know what else it may do that Overkill does not do, but it's got to be something to do with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the new ultimate perk, which is Resolute. That was the one they did announce, and that is gain increased movement when damaged. So yeah, right there in this first image, we're already seeing perk rebalance.
Yeah.
Which we had not ever covered before. And I didn't hear anyone talk about this, which is weird because all these people played at CoD Next, and I didn't even see any of them talk about it in videos, tweets, none of it.
Yeah, it is weird.
So I don't know why that was not a big topic of discussion, but I'm glad we're learning about all of it now.
So I guess this also answers the question on gear being in Warzone, right? Because there was speculation. I think I don't remember any specifics anymore, but I'm pretty sure from CoD Next, from official sources like different devs, there was conflicting information on the perks and the gear and what the fuck was happening with the integration. Because I think one dev told some content creator that the MW3 gear system, those perks, will be lootable in Warzone after the integration. And then I think a separate dev told a separate content creator that's not happening. So there's a lot of conflicting information out there. This is probably because they haven't fully decided yet. And they still, like right now, probably haven't fully decided exactly what they're going to do yet. So will gear be lootable after the integration for extra perks? We don't know. No one knows as far as we can tell. And I'm not sure the devs have maybe even decided yet.
Well, yeah, that build they were on was that older build, so...
And it did not have lootable perks.
It did not have lootable perks in that build they played, correct. But some people were told that you would be able to loot that stuff. I think Ted actually mentioned something about that at some point. He says something about vests here that we'll get to as I get through talking about this video, but yeah.
Yeah. So it's all kind of up in the air, and whatever, even, again, my point is that even if a dev said it at CoD Next, take it with a grain of salt, because most things devs say are going to be in the game most of the time will be, but in this particular case, I think there's still a lot of decisions being made. Maybe not now, but at the time of CoD Next, there were still probably some things in the air, and that's probably why different devs have been saying different things. But the perk rebalancing that we saw, like focus being moved from a bonus perk to a base perk, and primed being overkill, but instead in the bonus category, which also implies that they removed overkill from the base perk selection because they wouldn't have the same perk in two different categories. Things like that are much more likely, probably almost certainly going to be in the integration. There's going to be like a perk rebalancing, and it's going to be pretty big also. Whether or not gear is also going to be in the game, we have a little bit more to say on that, but we don't ultimately really know. There's still a lot of confusion in the air. So
yeah, so I think I was wrong about the primed actually. So go forward a tiny bit, also in 21 for when he scrolls to the next one with the Rival 9. You see that one, the Scout?
I'll pull it up again.
Yeah, pause on that one.
Multiplayer.
So this one, he does not have the primed perk actually, but he still somehow has a submachine gun selected and a battle rifle. So it's almost like that's tied to a vest, but you're not seeing the vest. So I don't know. So his perks in this one, where he also has two primary weapons in Warzone, he has Spotter perk, which is now a base perk instead of bonus perk. He has EOD, which is a base perk. He has Survivor, which is now a bonus perk instead of an ultimate perk. And then Combat Scout, which we knew was coming, and that's an ultimate perk now. So he doesn't have Overkill or Prime. So I don't know. Maybe there's like a hidden vest this is tied to that is not showing in the UI.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So
but why would they not show the vest in the UI? That would be annoying.
Well, I'm sure because it's an unfinished build, probably.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Like that would be the gunner vest, exactly.
Right.
So yeah, so Spotter again moved from bonus to base, which is good because Spotter's like a terrible perk. It never should have been in bonus in Warzone ever. That's cool. And Survivor is weird because that was I think that in Warzone it pinged enemies automatically when you got downed or something. I don't know. Hopefully they changed some of these as well because they were just, totally worthless.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Combat Scout, unfortunately. So,
yeah.
Then go to the next one at 22.
Okay.
So this one now, he has a sniper rifle and a pistol. And
yeah.
Yeah. And so how do you pronounce that word? Is it irradiate? How do you say? Is that how you say it?
Irradiate.
Okay. Yeah. So irradiate is a new base perk, this is one of the ones we knew about. So you move faster and take less damage from gas. This is the one we talked about. Cool. You can make gas plays and stay in the gas for 5 minutes. Probably got it. And then there's another new base perk that I've not heard anyone talk about. Mountaineer.
Yeah.
I'm assuming something to do with fall damage, maybe. The little icon is like a parachute.
With a medic cross on the top of it. Yeah. So that is weird. Yeah. We don't know. We don't know.
And then Tracker's in this kit too. Tracker's now a bonus perk. It used to be it's currently a base perk in Warzone 2. And then Ghost, which we already got confirmation that Ghost in Warzone will only be active when that player is moving. So no more ghosted players sitting in a corner not moving.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. And then moving on to the gear that we talked about, lootable gear. At 34 seconds, he says you can put on the vest that gives you the perk, and then kind of talks about some other shit. So what's confusing there is, I don't know if he's talking about lootable vests only, or if you can also select a vest. Don't know, unclear. But it kind of makes it sound like it's lootable because like you can put on the vest that gives you certain perks.
Yeah.
So don't know.
Yeah, it's all pretty confusing and weird. So that's a lot of info, and I'm glad JGod tweeted this because a lot of people did miss it, because I guess this happened like after a bunch of the gameplay. There are two thoughts I have. The first thought is it's good that they are doing a massive rework of the Warzone perks regardless. Because one thing we had talked about was, how are they going to do the perks? Are they going to integrate the MW3 perks at all or not? Because a big boring part of Warzone currently is that the perks there is no decision making really. Like something Ted said explicitly in that clip we played is like, we want a lot of good perks because we want it to be divisive, because then you'll have a variety of engagements and it'll be difficult to pick which perks you want. So people will be using a lot of perks. A lot of perks will be in the mix. And right now in Warzone, they aren't. Like, everyone uses all the same perks because all the decisions are so easy to make. That's super boring. And we weren't sure. In fact, I expected the perks to just be the same. Like, we get MW3 movement after the integration and guns, and that's it. But I'm pleased to report they're clearly doing a lot to the perk system to make it better, and maybe have to force you to make some decisions. Now, unfortunately, we get something like Combat Scout along with that, and some of the perks might be, annoying or unbalanced as well. But again, like Ghost only works while moving now, once the integration happens. That's another really good change. So the fact that they are changing up the perk system dramatically, no matter what they end up doing, it's going to be way different than we have now. That's a really good thing in and of itself. And then the second question, which remains unanswered until the game launches, is how well are they going to accomplish this task? How divisive will it actually be? How much picking and choosing will you have to actually do? Will it in fact be a cookie cutter perk system again, where it's really obvious what you should be taking in every slot, or not? That is the more important question, obviously, but it can't really get worse than the perk system we have now. So I'm glad that they're trying, and I have a decent amount of faith in Raven to do this correctly, or at least well enough to where there are some difficult decisions to be made. So I'm like really glad to hear this. And another thing that's good about this too is, even if it does end up being cookie cutter again, it's at least going to be a lot different, So Warzone's going to feel more different than if we weren't getting a perk overhaul. Whether it's done well or not, it's going to be more novelty. It's going to feel more fresh because the perks are, at least there's going to be some new ones. And even if it is cookie cutter, the set of cookie cutter perks are probably going to be different than the ones they're definitely going to be different because there's combat scout than what we have now, which is good just for novelty's sake alone. But I think they will do a pretty good job balancing it. And maybe they won't do a good job balancing it at launch, but Raven is very willing to actually make changes often. And they could be like, okay, this week we're moving this perk to this category because it's like not used enough or it's used too much or whatever. Like Raven will actually fine tune and tweak things often. So I'm excited. This is really good to see. And again, I'm really glad JGod tweeted this.
Well, yeah, it was nice that Ted specifically said, we want he basically said, yeah, what you're just talking about, how it needs to be balanced so that people have tough decisions choosing something. Because he is basically obviously pointing out Warzone 2, there's no thought that goes into anything. Who doesn't run fast hands? There's zero thought put into any of this because it's so simple to choose your perks.
Yeah.
And it's been that way since the game launched.
Exactly.
Much. So, they made some things like quick fix better. And, there's certain scenarios where some people want to use quick fix, others want to use high alert. But I expect much better balance for this integration. December, so,
same.
Yeah. And then, he also said at the end of the video, we brought across a number of perks from MW3 that we felt fit BR. So yeah, confirmation, not getting all the perks, just some of them that they felt would fit into BR. Those are coming over. So yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good video. Yeah, I saw no one talk about this.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. A lot of people must have missed it, obviously. But I'm glad we caught it. I'm really glad JGod tweeted that.
I even did some Googling and try to find like what these other perks were, like Mountaineer, Primed, and I had like typed in a bunch of different things. I was looking at like new Warzone, like MW3 Warzone perks, and all of the lists were just the three that Charlie Intel tweeted out, like Irradiate and then Resolute and whatever the other one was. I guess it was Combat Scout or maybe something else. I don't remember. But yeah. So numerous new perks coming to the game. Warzone specific, it sounds like.
It also, by the way, sounds like to me, the fact that he said we've brought across a number of perks from MW3 that we felt fit BR, that to me sounds like the gear will not be lootable. It sounds like they're just going to fold that into the new perks. Like they're already adding perks. They added Combat Scout. They added Primed. So it's probably that what he probably means is like we added the effects of Stalker boots to a perk called Stalker and we put it in the bonus category or whatever. And that would, if they're doing that, that would imply there won't be lootable gear that gives you perks. Which is good, by the way. I think lootable perks is dumb. What I suspect, though, like you said, is vests will probably be the only like lootable thing. And those might function like some of the MW3 vests do.
Well, yeah, or it will be the selection for the custom class, because how else are they getting overkill in those two classes? So I don't know.
It's weird.
I'm not sure.
It's super weird. Yeah. But we'll learn more as the weeks go by and obviously once the game launches. But all in all, that's exciting news for sure for Warzone players. That's going to make it a lot more fresh.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Next thing here, we have a little Twitter clip I wanted to point out. So when we were talking about, holy shit, this clip is loud. When we were talking about MW2, one of the things I immediately pointed out was like, oh, the visual recoil and all this is much, much better in the game, less screen shake. That is still true to an extent, but as the beta weekend went on and it was coming to an end, more people started talking about it. So if you want to play this clip here so people can see, this guy is showing off the visual iron sight bobbing and recoil again, where you lose your front post.
Completely
one of the biggest
lost.
issues in MW2, completely loses the front post. This is a horrible, horrible game mechanic. It's like, I don't know what they're trying to do with it. They're trying to do like realism, like as your head turns, you sometimes move the front post. I don't care. That should never, ever, ever, ever happen in an arcade shooter like this. Just let me see what I'm shooting at. The front post should always be fucking dead middle, right between that back U. Always. It should never move side to side. So as he's moving his LMG from right to left, the front post is gone. It's totally hidden. That is absolutely horrible. I don't get why they do this shit. It makes tracking a moving target very, very difficult. And as Hexsmith has shown with Warzone 2 current videos, the, aim assist tracking, this is less of an issue for controller users because you're still going to get the aim assist, but especially for K-Man, when you have to see things when you're shooting like that, it's actually unplayable. It totally ruins the gunplay. So the worst part about seeing this clip is this will not change. This feature is not changing whatsoever.
For sure.
So again, we're going to have to deal with this shit. And this gun also that he's using has Modern Warfare 2 screen shake. It's just as bad as it was then. So I think I was just wrong. I think some of the guns in general have less visual recoil for sure, but this one in the clip looks like an MW2 gun. So not good to see this at all. I fucking hate this, and it needs to change, and it won't. It's really, really unfortunate. And it makes you kind of be forced to run optics. And he even said in this, same thing happens with the red dot. So basically, as I pointed out in the when we saw the campaign footage and everyone was like, no, it's campaign, you're just an idiot, calm down. When the optic was going all around, so when the reticle was going all around the middle of the optic and it would be on the bottom left side of it, that's what he's basically describing in this tweet, is as you move like that, your red dot will not be in the middle of your screen still, like it is even on MW19. That dot's pretty much always in the middle. As you turn, that dot will go from the middle to the bottom left of the bezel. Not a good mechanic. Stop doing it. We don't need this shit. It just ruins gunplay. So I really do not like seeing this because it's not going to change.
Yeah, this definitely won't change. I do wonder though. I wonder if because this is like an LMG in this clip. I wonder if this is worse for big guns in this game than it is for SMGs. Because I used in the beta a few of the subs with iron sights, and I don't recall having this issue. So I wonder if it's less bad for guns where you're more likely to use an iron sight, such that it's not as big of an issue. I don't know if that's true. We'll learn that once we play, but it almost, like you said, doesn't matter because it's not changing. So that's unfortunate. And it shouldn't happen with any type of gun.
No, he even says in this tweet, it happens to ARs and SMGs as well, but to a lesser degree.
Okay, yeah. It's
why do they? You can add recoil to the gun, but let me see the front post still. Make my recoil go straight to the sky. I don't care.
So
just make it so I can
sky.
at least see the front post. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah, really unfortunate to see this.
Yep, pretty dog shit. But my thing on this is I didn't notice it in the beta, and I got to level 30 in the beta. So I feel like it's obviously in the game, but I feel like it has to be way less of an issue than it is in MW2, or I would have noticed it myself a lot more while I was playing. Yeah. So it shouldn't be in at all.
It'll be better than MW2, but this gun for sure has the screen shake and that visual recoil still.
Yeah. So anyway, now you guys know. But it's going to be weird using LMGs probably with an iron sight. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably other guns too. But moving on to some other stuff. Kind of non-COD related now. Some stuff from Charlie Intel here. On the Xbox podcast, Xbox's Phil Spencer says Activision Blizzard games will not be on Game Pass in the near future. He says Activision's statement last week on ABK titles on Game Pass in 2024 is probably accurate for it. So there were some people that were thinking COD would be on Game Pass now. It's not happening. Maybe sometime next year. Maybe sometime next year.
Yeah.
Then he goes on to say there's no secret celebration, talking about Game Pass, drop in the next several weeks. I wish there was, but there is not. He also confirms no more PlayStation exclusive shit. It's done.
Yeah, 100% parity. That's really good. We have no goal
more early
of using
beta. Yeah.
Call of Duty to get you to buy an Xbox console.
Yep.
I wouldn't believe this, to be clear. But what Game Pass, Call of Duty will eventually be on Game Pass in some degree, and that's going to be the incentive for players to buy an Xbox. I think what he really means to say is that that's enough of an incentive. We aren't going to like give Xbox early beta access like PlayStation has gotten for the last 10 years or whatever. That's probably what that means, which is good. And makes sense. And this is what we said when this deal was first announced. They're not going to take Call of Duty off of a PlayStation. You guys can relax. But, you know, like this year, the first beta weekend was PlayStation only. That's not going to switch to Xbox, is what he's saying. Is that true? It's going to be true for this year, next year, and the year after. Is it going to be true for like 2029? Maybe. I don't know. There might be a new CEO by then. Plans change. No one's going to remember this random podcast excerpt from 5 years ago by that time. It's hilarious that there exists an Xbox podcast, by the way. I certainly didn't know that. But anyway, this is all good to hear, though. But, you know, I take it with a grain of salt. But there's nothing going to be super earth-shattering, like, soon. It'll be years before anything crazy happens, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's cool, though.
And yeah, last thing here. This is a tweet from Repeat GG, who is a tournament organizer for different video games. They say Warzone 2 tournaments are officially live in beta on Repeat.
Whoa.
We could not be more excited to bring Warzone 2 leaderboard tournaments to Repeat. For now, we'll be launching in a beta environment for 2 to 4 weeks to make sure the scoring formats work and to get feedback from the community. Learn more. You can start joining tournaments here. So what this is when you go to this article and kind of read it, basically Activision has worked with this website to provide API access for them to run tournaments.
Yeah.
Which is the first time we've seen this in Warzone 2. So in Warzone 1, we had a totally public API. That's why there were so many websites, Warzone Ranked, Warzone Stats, where you could track the lobbies because it was all public. They revoked that going into Warzone 2, and it's possible we could see this coming back now. Because, yeah, the website explains, like, thank you to Activision for doing this, blah, blah, that we've been working with them. There were some very specific things, like you have to be 18 plus as per Activision. So it's like they have worked directly with this website to allow API access. So this is good news. We will probably see this coming to more websites in the near future. Maybe it's going to become public again starting in December. I don't know. But this is just like some random tournament organizer. They have like 28,000 followers on Twitter. I've never even heard of them. There's definitely some much bigger names out there that run tournaments like this. And they explain in the article too, they're like, it's not tournaments against other players in your same lobby. You basically just load into matches and play, and it tracks your stats. So that is how the API worked in Warzone 1. So we may be in the beginning stages of seeing websites like that come back with, wagers, stuff like that. So this is exciting. This is really good news to see that.
See the KD of your lobby and shit. Yeah. The API access was what was needed to do all that. I suspect they are not going to have the API be public again, though.
Yeah, I'm assuming they'll just work with websites. Like, I can even see them working with, like, Warzone Ranked, some of these other big ones.
Yeah.
Because I think... So, Warzone Ranked tweeted something, too, and I think they said Activision has been in contact with other websites as well. I don't know how they know that. Warzone Ranked, so as far as I know, Repeat are the first ones to launch with the API access for Warzone 2. I've seen rumors of a few others preparing to launch soon. I've tested and confirmed that Repeat are already tracking my stats with the API. It can't track if you have the game on Steam currently, and it also does not track ranked play. But yeah, so it sounds like there are others coming. This is really cool to see.
This is cool to see, for sure. It's better than what we have now. Again, I don't think they're going to make it public because I'm assuming, this is fairly speculative, I'm assuming Activision was like, okay, Repeat, we're going to give you access to the API. As part of that deal, once, you know, the integration happens and you guys run a tournament or whatever, you allow us to live stream it and, you know, run Mountain Dew ads on it, and that's how we will get paid. You know,
2 ads, yeah.
So like the benefit to Repeat is they get to run the tournaments at all and then run ads on their website, so they get their money that way. And then the incentive for Activision to give that API access is so that they can have the rights in some contract probably, which signed over their API access, to host some tournaments or all tournaments, or run ads and run ads through the broadcasting of those tournaments or something. That would be my suspicion. Because why else would Activision explicitly partner with a particular company? Because if they were going to make it public, they would have just made it public.
Yeah.
And not had to partner with anyone in particular. I don't really know. We will learn more, definitely, but hopefully that does mean that at some point I can be loading into a match and see my lobby's, you know, overall KD like we used to be able to do back in Verdansk. I kind of doubt that though, but hopefully. But either way, any tournament scene is good. Like, we didn't really have a tournament scene at all in Warzone 2. I think I saw once or twice going through random Twitch streams, like Huskers doing like kill race tournaments for like $10. But that scene just fucking died. And maybe that'll come back with some API access. I don't know.
Yeah.
But pretty interesting and surprising, by the way. Surprised the API is going out at all. But I'll take it for sure.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, that's it, boys and girls. Not too long of an episode today. The big thing as far as MW2 is concerned, as far as I'm concerned, is the haunting. I will be playing Zombie Royale tomorrow. We'll talk about that more on Saturday. And then MW3 was the big kind of deal for me. That Ted Timmins clip was the most exciting thing that we've learned this week, in my opinion. The big perk rework for Warzone. So now when the integration happens, we're going to have new guns. We're going to have a new map. We're going to have new movement. And we're going to have like a very revamped perk system. That's a lot of new stuff to really make Warzone feel fresh again, which I'm really excited to learn. The perks are going to help a lot with that. Yeah. So that's exciting to hear, and I'm excited to learn more on that topic. And when we do, of course, we will let you guys know. So that's it, boys and girls. Hope you enjoyed. Patreon.com/the Dropshot. Free trials are available. We just did a zombies episode. We did a multiplayer deep dive for MW3. We will be doing another MW3 deep dive as our last bonus episode. Oh shit. For this month. And that's going to be really fun, and I'm really excited to get into that episode. So if you want to listen to all of those and every episode we've ever done, bonus episode, you could join for free for 7 days through October and go listen to all those and more. You have unlimited access for those 7 days to everything, ad-free and early access as well. So yeah, check that out. Free trials available. Patreon.com/the Dropshot. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Stay humble.
Stay humble.